Namaste, let's go live on another bicycle live stream. Sunday the 18th of July at 7:17 a.m. It's 12 degrees, but there's a wind chill that is making it feel a lot cooler than that. I've ridden 30 kilometres, I'm just up at Bundall at the moment and just starting the return ride home. You can see in the background there some nice winter sky, winter clouds. It's been an absolutely magnificent morning. Got some great photographs which I'll be sharing later on. Okay, let's get on to the topic at hand. Our Mother Earth is crying. I'm dying. Won't you save me? That is this morning's topic. Now, we had horrific disaster occur in Germany yesterday or the day before. It was on the news yesterday, and I'm sure you probably have seen some news about it, possibly seen some of the photos, the videos of this environmental destruction that has occurred, where what we are seeing is Mother Earth in pain, suffering. We are seeing our own mother, our home, suffering, and she is reaching the point where she cannot handle the destruction that is being done to her. And because she cannot handle it, she is reacting in the way that any living being would react. She is in incredible pain, and she is reacting the exact same way that any living being would react. So we need to think about the fact that Mother Earth is a living being. She is our mother. She is our only home, and we have a history and a record of trying to kill her. We are so selfish that we don't care what we kill in order to satisfy our insatiable desires. And now it has reached a point of insanity where the pollution, the endless consumption, the endless environmental destruction is causing Mother Earth to die. And this is our only home. It wouldn't concern me personally that much if you weren't destroying my home, but you are. And I hold you and everyone else that's destroying the home we live in responsible. If you came into my house where I live and you set fire to it and you polluted it and you did all these things, I would of course call in the authorities. I would of course hold you responsible, and I would of course be justifiably upset. So it is no different when that happens with the planet that we live on, that we have nowhere else to go. So the question is now, as Mother Earth is crying out that I'm dying, the question is, what are you going to do to help save her, to help save the only home we have? This is not, something that we can ignore anymore. This is not something that we can say, oh yeah, well, we've still got another 10 years left, and, we'll have electric cars by 2035 and all the rest. There will be no 2035 at this rate. Civilization has run out of time. And what was, to their credit, what was amazing with this natural disaster in Germany is that, to the credit, the government came out and said This has happened because of the climate crisis. It is to their credit that they didn't ignore it, as some other governments are doing, including a government in Australia that seems to think that we can just keep on doing things the way we're doing. It's like, no, we can't, because Mother Earth has shown that. So this video is to ask you, what are you going to do about it? And give you some ideas. When I was young, back in the 70s, I know it's a long time ago, kiddies, I was so upset about people littering and having no regard for the environment that as a school project, I took a camera and went around my local pine forest and I took photographs of the litter. Now, this was a pine forest, which was, off the beaten track, with tracks going through it. Beautiful area, but, very, very quiet. And yet I could walk through this area with a camera and find many examples of littering. And I did a school project on it and took photos and did a poster and talked about it at school. Many examples of people that just could not care less about the home they live in. Well, Karma has a great way of keeping score, and we can't keep doing this to a living being without Karma coming along and saying, hey, I've been keeping score. Now, you've been, treating this living being a certain way. Now, there's a price to pay. And that's completely acceptable. That is a series of checks and balances. And what is personal karma is not so much a concern for what you do, is not so much a concern for me with personal karma, but what you do that affects my home, it is. If you come in and abuse my mother, then I'm very concerned about that, and I'm very adamant about doing something about it. If you come in and destroy my home, the same thing applies. So what is the number one thing that you can do right now, today, to give us some hope for the future? That maybe, just maybe, civilization will survive, and maybe we will have a home to live in. Maybe. It's debatable. Certainly the science is not particularly reassuring, as it's come out 3 years ago with the UN talking about the situation and how we only had 12 years left to get our act together then. We only have 9 years left now. So, and the science since then has shown even worse levels, increasingly worse levels of pollution and temperatures. Morning. And so the science has shown that since that warning from the UN 3 years ago, that things have gotten worse, not gotten better. It's like, so how the hell do we get out of this problem? Okay, the number one thing that you can do, that I started doing 41 years ago, is right this moment, right this day, you can say, shit, this is serious. I am personally going to do something about this. I am personally going to stop supporting the largest contributor to this environmental destruction. I'm going to stop supporting the industry that contributes to the most trees being cut down, to the most pollution of our water basin and our land, to the most pollution of our atmosphere, I'm going to stop right now contributing to it. And I'm going to encourage my friends to stop contributing to it. I have the power to do it. It's 2021. It's very easy to do it. There is heaps of information available through documentaries. There are heaps of alternatives that I can transition to immediately that will lessen my individual impact, and that is, of course, to go vegan. It's that simple, and it's that necessary. So that is the first thing, and that is if that's the only thing you do, then that is the thing you should be doing. Everything else we're doing is just shuffling deck chairs on the Titanic, and is a complete waste of time unless we have gone vegan first. You know, it's like save the fishes by using reusable straws or whatever the crap was. It's like save the fishes by not eating them. You know, we're so far removed from thinking clearly, and we are so, I guess you could say, easily pushed into believing like an advertising slogan, you know, save the oceans by not using straws and that sort of thing, that we just don't make the obvious connection. It's like, how about we save the oceans by not emptying the oceans of the living beings that are in there? So this is on behalf of my mother, Mother Earth, a living being that is crying out in pain, that is saying, I'm dying, please help me. On behalf of her, I implore you, if you are not yet vegan, to make the transition. And not only will you be giving us a home to live in the future, which of course is what we would all immediately want to be able to do, but you would also be improving your health, improving your mental and spiritual abilities and your emotional abilities, and most importantly, you would be doing the right thing by all the living beings that you are no longer contributing to their death and their use and their abuse and their slaughter and their suffering. You would be creating the peace that everybody talks about wanting to have in the world, which is so easily achieved if everyone makes that decision to stop contributing to the opposite of it. So that's my little call out on behalf of my mother, and on behalf of the home that I live on or in, on behalf of the home that we all live on, and on behalf of everyone's mother. We have no choice. These natural disasters are now being recognised by governments as occurring because of the climate crisis. And at least in some European nations, they are smart enough to be doing something about it, or trying to, but we need to encourage them to go vegan. Thank you for watching, and share this with your friends so that we have a home in 10 years' time to still live on. Have a great Sunday, live vegan and save lives. Ahimsa.